I was left at the altar by my fiancé, and my sister wearing my dress. What didn't they know? I already owned his company, and their betrayal was the beginning of my empire. The worst part about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. I learned this lesson on a rainy Tuesday afternoon when I returned from a business trip to find my wedding dress missing and my sister's perfume lingering in my apartment. I'm Ellie Pierce, and until that moment, I thought I had everything figured out. Successful career. Check. Perfect fiancé. Close relationship with my only sister. Double check. But life has a way of shattering your illusions all at once. Christine, something's wrong, I said into my phone, pacing my walk-in closet where my wedding dress should have been. The dress is gone. And Amelia's been here. I can smell her signature vanilla perfume everywhere. Ellie, sit down. Christine's voice was unnaturally steady. There's something you need to know. My stomach dropped. Christine never used that tone unless something was wrong. I sank onto my bed, still in my travel clothes. Amelia and Axel got married yesterday. In your dress. The words hit me like a physical blow. I gripped my phone tighter, knuckles turning white. What? It's all over social media. I tried calling you, but my flight was delayed, I whispered. My phone was dead. The pieces started falling into place. Axel's recent distance, Amelia's excessive interest in my wedding plans. The way they both encouraged me to take this business trip despite the tight timeline before the wedding. I'm coming over, Christine declared. No, I said quickly, surprising myself with how steady my voice sounded. I need to handle this myself. After hanging up, I opened Instagram. There they were. Dozens of photos of my sister in my dress, kissing, my fiancé, my dress, my fiancé, my sister. The caption under Amelia's post read, when you know it's meant to be. Sorry sis, sometimes love can't wait. I laughed, because while they were playing their little game, they had no idea about the cards I held. My phone buzzed with a text from Bruno, my mentor. Deals sealed. You now own a controlling interest in Harris Technologies. The announcement goes public next week. Congratulations, Axel's family company. The one he'd been trying to save for the past year. The one I'd just acquired through a series of shell companies and careful maneuvering. The doorbell rang. I opened it to find Lee, Amelia's best friend, standing there with an apologetic look. Ellie, I'm so sorry. I tried to stop her, but come in. Lee, I said calmly. Tell me everything. She settled on my couch, wringing her hands. It was planned for weeks. Amelia said, you didn't deserve Axel. That you were too focused on your career. She said he came to her. That they fell in love. I listened, noting every detail, every player in this betrayal. Lee's story spilled out how Amelia had copied my apartment key, convinced Axel that I was cheating on him with a business partner, how they'd planned their wedding to coincide with my business trip. They're having a celebration dinner tonight. At LeBlanc, Lee finished. I thought you should know. After she left, I stood at my window, watching the rain. My phone buzzed again. Axel calling. I declined it. Then opened my laptop to check my emails. The acquisition paperwork was there, waiting for my final signature. My finger hovered over the mouse. One click and I'd own everything Axel's family had built over 3 generations. One click and I could destroy them both. The rain intensified. Outside, matching the storm brewing inside me. Another text came through. This time from Amelia, please don't hate me. We need to talk. I closed my eyes, remembering all the times I'd protected her, supported her, loved her. How many times had I picked up the pieces of her mistakes? How many times had I put her first? Opening my eyes, I clicked sign on the acquisition documents. Then I opened my closet, pulled out my best dress, not white, but blood red, and began to get ready. They wanted to play games. Fine, but they forgot one crucial detail about me. I never wanted to participate. I played to win, as I applied my lipstick. My phone lit up with another message from Bruno. Confirmation received. Congratulations on your new company, CEO. I smiled at my reflection. Sometimes karma needs a little help. And I was more than happy to assist. You're scary when you're calm like this, Christine said, watching me pour us both a glass of wine in my kitchen. What's terrifying is how predictable they both are, I replied, sliding her glass across the counter. Did you know Axel's been trying to secure additional funding for months? His family's company is hemorrhaging money. Christine's eyes widened. And you bought it through shell companies. Bruno helped structure it so neither of them would notice. Axel was so busy planning his little betrayal, he didn't even notice who was buying up shares. Christine leaned forward. "What are you planning?" The doorbell interrupted us. Through the peephole, I saw Bruno's familiar silhouette. I opened the door to find him holding a thick manila envelope. "The final paperwork," he said, stepping inside. "Everything's in order. But we need to discuss timing." We gathered around my dining table, spreading documents across its surface. Bruno pointed to several key sections while Christine watched, fascinated. "The announcement goes public next week," Bruno explained. "Once it does, the board will be restructured. Axel's position as CEO becomes redundant. He doesn't know." Christine asked. "He's been too busy stealing my sister and my dress to notice his company slipping through his fingers," I said, signing another document. My phone buzzed. Another call from Axel. "Sixth one today." "You should answer it," Bruno suggested. "Keep him off balance." I hit accept. "Hello, Axel, Ellie, thank God. We need to talk." "It's not what you think." "Oh, so you didn't marry my sister in my wedding dress?" Silence. "That's what I thought," I said, keeping my voice light. "Pleasant. Congratulations, by the way. I hope you both got everything you wanted." "Ellie, please, I have to go. I'm in the middle of something important." "Business, you know how it is." I hung up before he could respond. Christine whistled low. Ice cold. "Speaking of business," Bruno interjected, "we need to discuss the gala next week. The acquisition announcement will be made there. All major shareholders are expected to attend, including Axel and his family." I noted a plan forming. "Send them all invitations. Make it impossible to refuse." "Ellie," Christine touched my arm, "are you sure about this? Revenge might feel good now, but this isn't just revenge," I interrupted. "This is business. Axel's family company is failing because of his mismanagement. I'm saving it. And if I happen to destroy his reputation in the process, well," I shrugged. "Karma." My phone buzzed again. Another text from Amelia. "Please answer my calls. I can explain everything." "Your sister's persistent," Bruno observed. "She's scared," I corrected. "She knows me well enough to know I don't get mad. I get even." Christine picked up one of the documents. "What about the employees? The people who depend on Harris Technologies for their livelihoods? They'll be protected. I've already planned a restructuring that preserves most positions." I turned to Bruno. "How's the PR strategy coming along? Ready to go?" "We're positioning this as a rescue operation. Young, innovative CEO saves struggling company." He smiled. "The press will love it." Another text from Axel. "Just saw the gala invitation. We need to talk before then. Please." I showed it to Bruno, who chuckled. "He's starting to sweat." "Good, what's your next move?" Christine asked. I walked to my window, looking out at the city lights. "Tomorrow, I'm going shopping for a gala dress. Something unforgettable. Then I'm going to show up at their celebration dinner tonight, at LeBlanc." "Ellie," Christine started. "Don't worry," I assured her. "I won't make a scene. I'll just congratulate the happy couple. Maybe mention how excited I am about next week's business announcement." Bruno gathered the documents, sliding them back into the envelope. "Remember, discretion is crucial until the announcement." "Trust me," I said, checking my reflection in the mirror. "I know exactly what I'm doing." As they left, Christine hugged me tightly. "Just don't lose yourself in this, okay?" I watched them leave, then checked my phone one last time. A new text from Amelia. "Saw you're attending the gala. What are you planning?" I smiled, typing back, "Just supporting my sister's new family." Isn't that what sisters do? Slipping my phone into my purse, I grabbed my keys. LeBlanc was waiting, and I had a dinner to crash. Sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold. It's served with a smile and perfect timing. The worst part about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. I learned that twice. The morning after my dinner crashing at LeBlanc, I met Cameron at Capital Coffee. Sharp suit, composed energy, and a folder filled with ammunition. "You must be Cameron," I said, sliding into the seat. "And you're the woman who's about to take down Axel Harris." He handed me coffee black, 2 sugars. My usual. The barista knew it. Cameron had done his homework. He slid the folder across the table. "Axel's been embezzling from Harris Technologies. But here's the twist: he's been funneling the money into accounts under your sister's name." My fingers went cold around the coffee cup. "What? Amelia probably doesn't even know. But the paper trail is clear. This isn't just incompetence, it's criminal. I flipped through the documents, fury coiling deep in my gut. Why are you giving this to me? Cameron leaned in. Axel did the same to my sister years ago. Different company, same scheme. She lost everything. I never got the chance to stop it. But you can. My phone buzzed again. Axel, another call ignored. Cameron, I said, closing the folder. I need everything. Previous employers, known patterns, victims, and I need it now. He handed me a USB, already compiled. But be careful. He gets dangerous when cornered. So do I. Bruno, my ever-efficient fixer, helped me accelerate the timeline. The board was restless. Axel had been making frantic calls. Rumors were swirling. It was time to act. At 3 p.m. sharp, I walked into the emergency board meeting. I wore Nevino blood red today. I wanted them to remember I wasn't here for drama. I was here for justice. Amelia arrived last, pale hands shaking. Axel stood up when he saw me. You can't be here. Bruno stepped forward. Miss Pierce is the majority shareholder. She can be wherever she wants. Gasps. Whispers. His father stood up, stunned. Amelia froze. Let's begin, I said. Taking my seat at the head of the table, Cameron connected his laptop to the projector. The numbers didn't lie. $12 million. Transferred over 14 months. All accounts bearing Amelia's name. Her eyes widened in horror. He said they were for our future. I didn't know. You signed them? I asked softly. She nodded. Last week, Axel turned on me, fury blazing. You planned this. No, you did. I just followed the trail. The room fell silent. I offered a deal. Axel steps down, and his father remains chairman. Or I take everything public. The vote was unanimous. Cameron revealed even more evidence of similar fraud in Axel's previous roles. 3 companies. Same pattern. Axel lunged at Cameron. Security guards restrained him. You're finished, he growled. No, I said. You are. As the guards led him out, I turned to Amelia. Christine is the best fraud lawyer in the city. Call her. Why are you helping me? Because you're my sister. And because you're not the only one he used. That night, Cameron and I prepared for the gala. You still going? He asked. Wouldn't miss it. You want a date? He added, raising an eyebrow. Only if I can trust you. He offered his arm, always. The gala sparkled. I descended the grand staircase in midnight blue. All eyes turned. Photographers snapped. Axel's father stood stiffly. Bruno handed me champagne. Christine rushed up. Amelia told me something later. I said. Showtime. Bruno took the stage. Please welcome our new CEO, Miss Ellie Pierce. Applause. Flashbulbs. I stepped into the spotlight. Thank you. Harris Technologies has been a cornerstone of innovation. But tonight, we begin a new chapter, with transparency, with accountability, and with justice. I paused. We're launching a victims fund. For those Axel harmed. You are seen, you are heard. We will make this right. Gasps. Applause. Shocked silence, then chaos. Axel stormed into the ballroom. Disheveled. Furious. You think this is over? You trapped me. He shouted, throwing an envelope at my feet. Emails. Bank statements. He thought he could twist the story. I picked up one page. Ah, your offshore accounts. Or these emails framing Amelia. Interesting. He paled. Amelia, tell them. You helped me. She stepped forward. No, you used me. She pulled out a recorder. I have proof. His voice played. Every manipulation, every threat. Take him. I ordered security. This time, he didn't fight. His face was gray. Amelia looked at me, tears in her eyes. I recorded everything after the dinner. I knew. I just couldn't let him win. I nodded. You're learning? Cameron pulled me aside as the press swarmed. That was quite a show. The night's not over yet. As we swayed to music, I caught Amelia's eye. She mouthed, thank you. Sometimes, revenge isn't about destruction. Sometimes it's about rebuilding what was broken. And sometimes, that starts with your sister. The next morning, Amelia was waiting in my office with my wedding dress. I had it cleaned. She said, I know it's too late, but I placed the dress on my desk. Why are you here? She looked down. The police found more victims. Axel hurt more people than we thought. Cameron walked in with files. Good morning. Sorry, should I come back? No, stay, I said. Amelia stood. I should go. Wait, I said. You should hear this. You're one of his victims, too. She sat. Cameron spread papers. Across the desk, 23 victims. 4 companies. Estimated losses. $20 million. I'll cover it, I said. All of it. Ellie, Amelia began. I can, and I will. My phone buzzed. Christine, turn on the news. Now. I did. Axel's face on the screen. Surveillance footage. A new victim. Sarah Cameron, single quotes as jaw tightened. My sister. It's her. She's coming forward. Bring her in, I said. I want her involved in the victims fund. Bruno entered. The board's waiting. Amelia looked at me. What about me? I studied her. Start by telling the truth. To yourself. To the police. Then we'll talk. She nodded. Okay. As she left, Cameron touched my arm. You're being kinder than she deserves. Maybe. Or maybe I'm just tired of letting Axel destroy everything he touches. The board meeting was brutal. We laid it all bare. No spin, no damage control. Later, Cameron found me on the balcony. Sarah wants to meet you. She says you're her hero. I laughed. Funny, I don't feel very heroic. You exposed a serial fraudster. Protected his victims. Saved your sister. That counts. Maybe. I looked out over the city. But I'm not done yet. A week had passed since the gala, but its aftershocks still echoed through boardrooms and headlines. My calendar was a blur of damage control meetings, PR consultations, and legal Yet amid the chaos, something remarkable had emerged. Clarity. Harris Technologies was no longer a crumbling legacy. It was being reborn. Amelia had kept her promise. She testified before the board and again to the authorities. Her recordings had sealed Axel's fate, and while the damage he caused would take years to fully repair, the foundation was finally solid enough to start building on. New office, new beginnings. Cameron said as he stepped into my corner suite, carrying coffee and a fresh stack of reports. I smiled, taking the mug from him, and fewer betrayals. Hopefully. His brow lifted. Well, unless you count the printer downstairs. It ate my presentation twice this week. Technology might betray us, I said, but at least it doesn't pretend to love us while doing it. Cameron chuckled, then grew more serious. The Victims Fund is making waves. Press coverage is overwhelmingly positive. Shareholder confidence is rebounding. And Sarah, I asked. She's ready to meet. She's been working with Amelia on the support group. They're drafting legislation to prevent this kind of fraud from slipping through regulatory cracks. My heart swelled. Pride and humility intertwining. Amelia said she wanted to earn forgiveness. Maybe she's doing just that. A knock interrupted us. Christine entered, waving a folder. Sorry to barge in, but you need to see this. I took the file and flipped it open. It was a letter from the Securities and Exchange Commission. Official recognition of our cooperation and investigation. They called our audit the most transparent corporate self-review in a decade. Well, I exhaled. I guess we're setting new standards. You're becoming a blueprint, Christine said. Not just for revenge but for reform. Later that day, I visited the Victims Support Center Amelia and Sarah had opened. It was small, but vibrant, filled with hope and stories of recovery. You came, Amelia said, stunned, as she greeted me. You're making a difference here, I said. She led me on a short tour. Posters about financial literacy, trauma support flyers, and a whiteboard filled with anonymous survivor goals. I've been clean, she whispered. No lies, no spinning. Just the truth, every day. It suits you, I replied. We stopped in front of a photo board. In the center was a picture from our childhood, us on swings, flying toward the sky. You remember that day? She asked. Of course. You said you'd fly higher than me. I just screamed louder, she said. But you were always higher. That evening, Cameron and I attended a small industry dinner. Nothing fancy, no speeches, just people reconnecting. Do you think people like us ever really escape betrayal? I asked him over dessert. We survive it, he said. We learn from it, and we make sure it doesn't define us. I nodded. That's why I accepted the keynote at the next Tech Women's Summit. His smile widened. Ellie Pierce, keynote speaker. I like the sound of that. They asked me to talk about rebuilding trust. I thought I'd start with my own story. You'll inspire them. I hope so, but more than that, I hope I make them careful, smart, brave. Cameron lifted his glass. 2 smart and brave women who build empires on the ashes of betrayal. I clinked my glass to his. And to the allies who helped them rise, Outside, the city buzzed with life. Somewhere, another woman was discovering betrayal. But maybe, just maybe, she'd hear my story and know she wasn't alone, and maybe she'd play to win. Because sometimes, the best revenge isn't revolution, and I was just getting started. The morning sun bathed my office in gold as I prepared for the board's quarterly review. Today wasn't just about numbers, it was about vision, about the future we were shaping. The past month had been transformative. Our new policies on transparency and corporate ethics were already being adopted by other firms. Investors praised the cultural shift. Employees, once wary, now walked the halls with pride. Harris Technologies was no longer synonymous with scandal. It was becoming something bigger, a symbol of redemption. Ellie, Amelia said, stepping into my office with a familiar white garment bag. I brought this. You should decide what to do with it. My wedding dress. I hadn't seen it since the day Amelia returned it. She laid it across the conference table, careful not to wrinkle it. I was thinking, she said, maybe we auction it for the fund. I stared at the delicate lace, a dress meant for a day that never happened. That's a beautiful idea, I said. Turn heartbreak into healing. As she smiled, Christine entered with Sarah behind her. Sarah looked stronger, confident, not a victim anymore, but a fighter. We've finalized the Victims Advocacy Division Charter, Christine announced. Sarah will co-direct with Amelia. Sarah held out a copy of the document. I signed it with steady hands. For the ones who didn't have a voice, I said, and for the ones who found it too late, Sarah added. That evening, I sat with Cameron on the rooftop garden overlooking the city. You know, I said, sipping wine, when Axel betrayed me, I thought everything was over. But it wasn't, he replied, it was just the beginning. He gave me pain, I said, but that pain gave me purpose. Cameron turned toward me, brushing a strand of hair from my face. And you turned that purpose into power. We clinked glasses. To redemption, he said. To legacy, I answered. The next day, I walked through the halls of Harris Technologies, not as a woman wronged, but as a woman reborn. Murals of resilience and innovation adorned the walls. A new plaque had been installed at the entrance. Bruno met me outside the boardroom. Stock's up again. Press wants a sit-down interview. Schedule it, I said. It's time the world saw what rebuilding looks like. As I entered the boardroom, every seat was filled. Men and women who had once doubted me now looked to me with respect and something more. Trust. I know why you're here, I said. You want numbers, projections? But what I want to give you today is certainty. Not just that we've fixed the past, but that we are building a future none of us needs to be ashamed of. Silence fell. Then applause. Amelia, seated in the back, caught my eye. She nodded, slowly, meaningfully. The scars of betrayal would never fully vanish, but they would fade. And in their place, a new story would take root, one not of revenge, but of resilience. Because when you rebuild, not just your name, but your impact. When you take your pain and make it someone else's protection, that's when you truly win. And this time, I wasn't playing to survive, I was playing to lead.